SRS, help, SRS. Hey there, guys. Joe Simons, like diamonds, salt strung here. You're wondering, Joe, have you lost your mind? It's SOS. No, it's not. It's SRS, and I truly do need your help, and it's going to take less than 60 seconds. Here's the deal. We've been approached multiple times by these advertisers who want to advertise on our podcast. We've said no to all of them because here's what they want to do. They told us on a 30 to 40-minute show, they want to put 9 advertisements. That means like every few minutes it is going to abruptly stop, and you're going to have to sit through a dumb advertisement. We do not want you to put you through that. It's a bad user experience. We are here to impact as many people as possible. So instead of us taking advertising money, all we ask in return is you do this one thing. It's going to take 60 seconds. It's the SRS. It's subscribe. That takes literally 1 second. If you're on iTunes, pause it right now. You can hit subscribe. If on Stitcher, same thing. So subscribe is number 1. R is review. Just take a few seconds and review this podcast. That's the number 1 way that Apple shares and recommends this to as many people as possible. It helps us make a massive impact and make sure that we never have to put ads on here. And the other one is to share it with anyone you think might love this message. So SRS, subscribe, review, and share. It would mean the world to us, and it helps get this message out there and this podcast out to as many people as possible and keeps it completely ad-free. So here is the message in the podcast for today. Hope you enjoy it. And if you can, please, 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 SRS, help, subscribe, review, and share. Thank you guys. Love you. Talk to you soon.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way.
And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing.
Here's your host, Joe Simons, like diamonds.
Hello, Salt Strong Nation. Joe Simons, like diamonds, back again. Got my boy, Brandt. What's up, dude?
Man, not enjoying this beautiful weather that we're having in Pensacola, Florida today. It's absolutely gorgeous. I know the whole state of Florida can't say that, and it's been a crazy week. So
a wild week. If you're wondering, because I don't know when this is going live, we just got finished with this hurricane that blew through and did actually bring some cooler weather. I just got power back yesterday, so it is wild what that will do to you and just like knock you down, like kick you in the shins. It just feels like nothing goes right when you don't have power. And especially if you have a wife who enjoys hot showers and kids and pets. Dude, we were about to lose our minds, man.
I bet, man. I have a lot of empathy for you guys and the people down in Southwest Florida because we've been through it.
No, so you've been through it multiple times, dude.
We know what you're going through.
You guys got nailed. And at one point, Ian was kind of going up that way, and I was like, I thought about you guys and Bama Beach Bum and Bearded Brad. I was like, oh my gosh, they can't take another one of these things.
Well, I went out and bought a generator for the house right when I saw it because I thought it was coming this way, and then it turned and went into Fort Myers.
All right, so let's talk about fishing and business. You've made a couple, I'd say, kind of big pivots over the years, and I had you on the podcast. Gosh, I don't know, it's been maybe 4 years now. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And you on the kind of the business side, and also I guess we'll start on the fishing side because I think that's kind of fascinating. You were a guide, and you had some pretty funny slapstick videos of a lot of the things that you saw on your boat of customers that were asking crazy stuff, and
Sure.
I think most people could relate with it, which is why it did so well. But now sold the boat and doing more land-based stuff. So kind of talk about that. Why did you sell the boat? What was the reasoning behind all that?
So it was funny. Before we were doing this, I was thinking about the fishing industry, and this is my 16th year working in the fishing industry.
Wow.
And a big portion of that was as a fishing guide. And, it got to a point where I was kind of, I guess, burnt out on running charters. And it was right at the time my social media was kind of blowing up and taking off. And I said, this is a great time to make a change and start fresh. And it's crazy because if you look back on my YouTube channel, I would say the first 250 videos were out of a boat. 300 videos even were out of a boat. And then my last 200 have all been land-based, just about. And so it was it was interesting. But it was refreshing for me to make that change, and it's really worked out for me. So,
do you ever fish on a boat? Do you got friends, or you just like because I know when you're creating content, you're like, all right, what am I going to do today? How often are you going on boats now, or are you?
Once a month I'll fish out of a boat.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that. I have a small boat that I fish out of. I have friends with boats, and so I do still fish some. But the way my entire business pivoted, and so when I was a charter boat captain, I was catering to the tourist industry. And they would, we have right now, I think 2.5 million families every year coming to Pensacola Beach. And out of those families coming down here, they want to take fishing charters. And so, that was who I was catering to then. And then when I jumped off the boat, I said, those same tourists, even though they're taking fishing charters, they're going to want to fish on their own when they're down here. So I'm also going to cater to them with these videos, and I'm going to help them be successful on their vacation. And so that's why you see me doing a lot of beach fishing, a lot of pier fishing, anything land-based that a father and son coming down to the Pensacola, Florida area can say, hey, Brent, I saw Brent catching Spanish mackerel and redfish here on the beach the other day. We can go do that. He showed me what spoon to use, and we're good to go. And so it's changed the entire direction of the business.
That's awesome, man. What was the transition like in terms of in a boat? I know it's nice. You can move a mile in a really short amount of time. When you're on a pier or a beach, it takes a lot to move all your gear a mile or even half a mile. What was this transition like in terms of basically finding the right spots and not getting frustrated?
So it took me it was more so getting the equipment right than, because being a guide, and especially an inshore guide, I already knew most of the land-based spots because we would fish them out of a boat. And so I kind of knew where the redfish schools were. And so that really helped. And if you watch my channel, a majority of the videos, I'm catching redfish. And that's just what we have a lot of down here. And so that part, the actual fish part of it, was not hard. I would say that the most difficult part was getting all the equipment right to surf fish, because you got to have a cart, you need longer rods, you need heavier lures. There's all kind of stuff that you need to get right, and it did take me a while to get used to it.
So let's break it down by like beach, pier, and then I want to talk about like the off the grid stuff, because
sure,
a lot of people will come to areas and they know obviously where the beach is. There's people that want to love to catch redfish or trout or flounder and like an off the grid, not to share spots, but
sure,
just to say, how do you even go about finding it? So start with the beach. What are some tips? We'll just talk about Pensacola, for instance, here for the fall in particular. What are you doing? What are you looking for? What are you targeting?
So every day is different, but I really like a north wind on the beach because it lays everything down in our area. And when the beach is laid down, I can find cuts and different stuff like that. So if I find, it's been low tide here the last week in the mornings. And so every morning I've been going out and I've been pitching baits and cuts, and been doing really well with flounder and pompano and different stuff like that. So a lot of times these fish are migrating and they'll stop in these cuts. And you can be really successful if you find the deep water on the beach. So that's what I look for. And believe it or not, a lot of these spots are public beach access spots. in front of condos. And you just, when people ask me where to fish, I say, look, just go and look. And if it feels good to you, fish there, because these fish are moving down the beach and then they'll stop in a cut to feed on crabs and sand fleas and different stuff like that.
Yeah. Are you using lures or trying to get fleas and crabs and stuff?
A little of both. I actually put up a video yesterday. I went 7 for 9 in the morning on the slam with the slam shady.
Slam shady, baby.
On flounder. And so
just a jig head or what?
A jig head, an 1/8 ounce jig head, slam shady, and I was pitching in these cuts and pulled 7 flounder out. And this is the time of year. Yeah, this is the time of year that you can do that. And so there's plenty of them out there. So that was a fun trip.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. All right. So beach, any other like just things that you're seeing from whether it's tourists or newer anglers out there, and you're just like, man, I wish I could tell them this. What do you see as the mistakes for a lot of these beach anglers? And we'll just stick with kind of the fall theme, but it could be any time of the year.
Yeah, not being prepared for everything. And so the reason I have a beach cart is so that I can bring 7 rods. And I have a rod with a spoon. I'll have a rod with a slam shady. I'll have a rod with rig for set rig fishing for pompano. I'll have a rod for whiting. I'll have a big rod for bull reds and sharks. And so anything that comes down that beach, I can grab real quick out of my cart, and I can, have a good shot at hooking up with them. And so if you just go out there rigged for pompano, and then all of a sudden a big school of bull reds swim by, you're kind of sitting there with your hands tied, can't do anything. And so I like to have the night before I go beach fishing, I make sure that I have every angle covered. And that would, because you never know. Every day is different. There's been so many days where I've gone out and said, I'm going to pompano fish this morning, and I end up catching jacks and redfish. So, or vice versa.
Yeah. I know when Wyatt went to film not too far from you in the big scheme of things with Bama Beach Bum, they had this whole, we're going to get these species this day, and none of it. They ended up getting a ton of awesome footage, but everything was flip flop. To your point, they had you just can't plan for that. You never know what's going to show up in the surf.
Yeah, exactly. And so anyone that's coming down here, that's my recommendation. Just make sure that you have all your angles covered.
That's cool. All right, piers. What's it like fishing on the pier, especially for you as you get people looking at you, and are they angry? Are they trying to get?
It is so awkward filming on the pier. Yes, those are the hardest videos to make, hands down. And it's because we're out there with a GoPro, and a lot of fishermen that are serious fishermen don't understand. And so they don't understand that I'm out there making videos for people that are vacationing. I'm not really making videos for the serious pier fisherman that's out there, looking for cobia.
Right.
And so it is awkward, I will say. And so anytime we go pier fishing, we always go with a group of people just so that we have people around us.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
That is smart. So, and what's your favorite to target in the fall?
Kings. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we also, something interesting about our piers up here, we get a lot of pelagians. And so we'll get mahi and sailfish. Navarre Pier, which is right down the road from me, has been catching sailfish. And then in the winter, we'll get blackfin tuna. So anything like that'll hit a Rapala X-Wrap or something like that off the pier is what we're targeting.
All right, so a sailfish off the pier is completely foreign to me. What do you do? I'm just envisioning the last time I was on a pier. Mm-hmm. I'm hooked into a sailfish. What do you do?
Man, it is crazy. So the bad part about it, I guess, is that sailfish are not very durable. And if you hook them on a pier, they usually do not live. Yeah. If you get a little one, you can net them and get him up and release him down, then they'll swim away fine. But a big one usually doesn't live. And so a lot of people keep them, but it is wild. And in October, man, they're hanging 1 or 2 a day out there on the pier sometimes,
Wow.
maybe sometimes 5 or 6. Like it's an actual thing.
That's nuts. So what's the mistake that you're seeing on the pier for the people? Because there's always in any pier, there's people catching fish and there's usually people who aren't. What do you see as the difference?
So if I go to a new pier that I've never been to before, the first thing I'm going to do is watch what the locals are doing. And I'm okay. They're using Rapala X wraps, and then they're just blind casting off the end of the pier. That's what I'm going to go do because that's obviously how they're being successful.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do a couple things. If I'm coming to Pensacola Pier and I've never fished there before, I'm going to stop at the shack, the guard shack at the beginning, and I'm going to talk to them. Say, what's going on out there? What have they been catching? Okay, kings, good. What are they using? Okay, I'm going to get my rigs right there at the pier, and then I'm going to walk out there and do what the locals are doing. So the biggest mistake I see is people going out there blind, not knowing what they're fishing for. And you need to have kind of a plan going into it.
That's smart. And even just looking at what size weights or asking, right? I mean, there's a lot of helpful people. There are always some jerks at anywhere you fish, but for the most part, people are helpful and they'll tell you what they're using.
Absolutely.
And even I've seen it just even watching the retrieval speed and how if they're popping it. All that stuff is so valuable especially if you're looking at locals who are catching fish and you aren't. That's a good one. What on the kind of the let's talk redfish because that's one that I know almost all of our audience loves to catch.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people feel it's a big challenge to catch redfish from shore. Mm-hmm. It's almost like, oh man, I'm at a massive disadvantage because I don't have a boat. Is that true or not?
Man, I put up a redfish video every single week from the shore. So it's I think that it's the easiest fish to catch from shore.
Huh.
Yeah.
Keep going.
In our area. Now, keep in mind, every area is different. I can't go to Tampa right now and catch redfish from shore because I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But in Pensacola, I think they're relatively easy to catch from shore.
Or be more specific. I mean, from beach, or do you have little areas? Are you fishing docks that you have access to, or what?
So both. Right now, from the beach, we have some of the most emerald green water that you will ever see during the fall. We have a lot of north wind, which lays that beach down, and so you think of it like this. Redfish traditionally hang around passes and cuts that lead from the bay to the Gulf. Okay, so if you go to the beach around that pass and that cut and you walk the beach, you are going to find these big schools of redfish laid up in the surf.
That's cool.
And so, the water is so clear that you can see them from 50 yards away, 75 yards away. Oh, there's a big school of redfish right there. And then it's just getting them to bite. And so finding these schools of fish is relatively easy.
Are you in a construction zone or something?
What's that?
You in a construction zone?
So I was going to say that prior to the pot, we're actually getting our kitchen remodeled.
So you are in a construction zone.
So yeah, we are.
I love it. I was like, first I was like, is that my background or his? Like, oh, that's it.
No, sorry about that.
That's hilarious. All right. So got it on the beach. What about more inshore and some of the other intercoastals and the waterways? Because I think people struggle with that is how do I find a land-based, the beach, obviously, if you have access,
sure.
Great. How do you go find a place kind of off the path that's still, public where you're still not breaking any
sure.
rules, or maybe you are.
So I have walked miles and miles of shoreline looking for these spots. So it is definitely more difficult on the bay side than it is on the beach side. On the beach side, anybody can see redfish.
Yeah.
On that side, you've got to be kind of in specific spots. Now you can walk. There's a lot of sandy bank on our bay side that you can walk and you'll see schools of redfish coming down that sandy bank. And then you just throw a scented salt plastic to them or something like that. But there's also a lot of deep holes. So our bay drops off right off the bank, 30 to 40 foot deep. And so when you get on the other side of these sandbars and these flats, you're in 30 to 40 foot of water. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm looking. You can look on them, and I already know where the deep water's at because I've been fishing out of a boat there forever. But you can look on a map and see where the deep water is, and you can go put set rigs out in those deep water spots right now in the fall. Cut mullet, live mullet, and you are going to be successful. I put a video out the other day, man. I couldn't even put a bait out without catching them in one of the most public areas. So it's not hard to do right now. Find you some deep water, put some baits out. You're going to be successful. And then, like I said, look for them on the sandy flats.
And a little pro tip here is you can use the smart fishing spots to find a lot of these types of areas. That 4K is crazy, that satellite view, what you can see on that. And even these little sandbars you're talking about around deeper areas, that's all types of structure. So definitely we've seen more and more people are using the smart fishing spots who do not own a boat, who are using it to find really good land-based spots. Then it comes down to your point is very valid, putting in the time, right? You still got to go explore and make sure you can get access to it, et cetera.
Sure, absolutely.
But even that's getting easier with Google. You can drop the little dude down and see exactly what it looks like. See if there's any path or a road. It's wild what you can find out online.
Exactly.
All right. So the other big pivot you did was on the business side of it. You're obviously still creating content, but you saw an opportunity. You and Mr. Motley there, who we had on the podcast a while back.
Yeah.
I thought that was really, really brilliant. You have all these people, and it's still happening, which is crazy. It feels like it's been going on for a decade of all these people moving to Florida, and you were getting questions from your YouTubers, subscribers and stuff saying, hey, can you point me in this direction? Or, hey, I saw a house where you were fishing nearby that I want to buy. And now you're using it on the real estate side.
Yeah. I wanted something to sell that was hands off, that I didn't have to touch, and that I could just use the marketing power of the YouTube platforms to sell.
Yep.
And why not sell the most expensive item? And it's funny. We started doing it, and it worked just way better than we thought it was going to. This was a new thing. We had no idea that you could sell real estate from a fishing YouTube channel. And man, I'm just blown away as to how well it's worked. And that's another reason that, the direction of my channel has gone more to the tourist industry, land-based stuff, because those are the people buying vacation homes down here.
Yeah. So what is this? Are you getting like leads every week, every day? Like what's happening there with people contacting you?
I will get a call every day of some sort. Yeah. What a lot of them now are leads that you pass on to other people or tell them that you can't do. But a lot of them are good. So it's just, you just pick and choose the ones that you want to do.
But you have to be a subscriber first and foremost, right? You guys better subscribe.
Absolutely. And that is the most interesting part of it. 95% of my real estate leads come from that YouTube channel.
Really? That's wild. I mean, how cool. I'm sure a lot of other real estate agents there scratching their heads saying you guys basically came from nowhere and now have even a legit business on that end.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it, and so the real estate industry is very competitive now. And so if you're going to be a successful agent, you're going to have to spend a lot of money marketing.
Oh, yeah.
And, on Zillow, realtor.com, different things like that, Facebook. The cool thing about what we do is we get paid to market. And so we are putting up YouTube videos, generating ad revenue, generating sponsor money. And in turn, we're marketing our real estate business. So it's really cool.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. We had a great summit. We called it the Creator Summit. Gosh, it's been a couple weeks now, and I had a blast just getting to hang out with you guys and everyone brainstorming. What were some takeaways from that when we had all these YouTubers and influencers together. What were some takeaways? And I'd love to hear kind of some final thoughts on where all this social media stuff is going in the fishing world specifically.
Sure. I think it's interesting how each and every one of us we're all doing the same thing, but we have a different direction that we're going in. Salt Strong is going in a completely different direction than me, and Bama Beach Bum is doing something completely different than me. And so it's cool to hear everybody's story and everybody's business model, because they are all different, even though we are creating fishing videos to generate business, which is cool.
Yeah. Although we're going to start competing against you. It's Salt Strong vacation properties are starting here next month. I'm kidding.
That's funny.
I'm just kidding.
I do have some ideas there.
We're looking for a few good agents.
Yeah, exactly. And that was cool. And then just getting to meet everyone that you've been watching their videos over the years and seeing these guys and getting to meet them in person was really cool. I enjoyed that. So.
That was cool. So what do you think? Because, I mean, there was a lot of talk about these shorts. We've done primarily a lot of how-to stuff and on the water tips. And I know you guys have done a lot of on the water. You're telling stories and it's longer form, 12, 15, 30-minute videos. And there were some guys there like, Michael there. I mean, the dude's never done a video over a minute. I mean, it's like
crazy,
what? Huh? What do you think? Where's all this stuff going?
Man, it's wild. I do think that every major platform right now is competing for short form content. Yep. And so, I'm actually creating quite a bit of it on Facebook and doing really well with it. I've never done it on YouTube. And I've always been kind of afraid to. I've heard some horror stories of channels that have tried it and it's kind of messed their channel up. But then again, you have certain channels that are strictly short channels, like Tackle to the People, Michael, and he's killing it, man. So it's like, now I did hear that in 2023 at the beginning, YouTube is changing a lot of stuff, and they're actually going to promote the shorts just like they're promoting the long videos, and so it's going to be pretty similar. So that's going to help a lot.
It will be interesting because we're tempted as well to do a lot of these shorts, but when we shared just some numbers behind the scenes, even with Tackle to the People and you guys and Bama, and like we have a lot of minutes watched, more than a lot of other people in the room, but not as many total views, not even close. Like we were in the same ballpark, but we're having a lot of those views, the 2 point whatever million minutes watched the last 28 days. Those were all videos that we did 2-3 years ago. So the question that none of us know, are these shorts going to have any SEO value at all, right? 3 years from now, are all these shorts, are they going to be showing up? Are they going to be buried so far down that no one can ever find them again?
Here's my theory on it. I think that in the long run, long content always wins. If that wasn't the case, then television would have made 1 minute TV shows. So advertisers, they're going to be able to advertise on long form content a lot better than short.
Yep.
People, your fan base and your subscriber base, your loyal followers, they want to see that long content because they want to. Even Michael and I were talking about this, and he was the one that brought it up. He's like, you guys have loyal followers that want to know you as the company or you as the person. It's hard to gain that with short content. And so when you have a big following of loyal followers, it makes it real easy to promote a product so I think in the long run, the long form content wins.
That's good. Yeah. And everyone wants to know about you. Now people got to learn that you're redoing your kitchen. So we learned something new personal all the time.
Man. The wife is redoing the kitchen.
I understand. I completely understand how that works. Well, dude, I know you've got a crazy busy day. Where can everyone go find you? What's all the different channels to subscribe and like, etc.?
Yeah, Angler Up With Brandt, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I'm not on TikTok. somebody did create a Angler Up With Brandt TikTok page, and they're posting videos daily, but it's not me. So,
Are they using your content?
all of it. Yeah. It's my content. They're posting daily. I've got like 50,000 TikTok followers. I've never made a post. So.
Dude, that's hilarious. And there's nothing you can do to shut it down?
No, there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah. So it's pretty interesting.
That is wild. Real quick, I'm curious, what is your most watched video of all time? Do you know?
So very recent, my most watched fishing video is so random because it wasn't even a good fishing video. It was in 2020. I went to a bridge. I used live shrimp at the bridge and caught some couple redfish and some Spanish mackerel. Just a basic day. Put it up. My title was so basic, using live shrimp for random bridge fish. 2 million views. I'm like, how is that even possible? Okay. And so that is my number. I always talk about how my number one YouTube video is like the most basic YouTube video.
Yeah, it's not sensational at all. It's just
nothing. There's nothing crazy about it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Funny.
That is crazy. Yeah. Well, everyone go subscribe. Angler Up With Brandt. Heck of a dude. I had an absolute blast getting to know you better. And we got to do that again. That was so much fun.
I think that was good for everybody, including the viewers. I think the viewers really enjoy seeing us all together as a group. And so everybody, that's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah. Everyone except for Rich, that was so funny.
Dude, that was awesome.
Brother, appreciate you big time. Everyone make sure to go like and subscribe. And we'll put this, depending on where you're listening or watching, we'll have it on our site at saltstrong.com. And at the bottom, we'll have a place to put comments because the YouTube comments get out of control sometimes. But if you want a comment, that'll definitely go to the two of us and I'll forward it over to him. Let us know if you have any questions. But the overall message here, because I know so many people believe they're at a massive disadvantage not having a boat. We have someone who spent many, many years, over a decade on a boat, now has pivoted and is still catching fish very consistently. And I think that's pretty awesome. And definitely check out his channel. He'll show you how to do it and show you exactly what he's doing every single week.
Absolutely.
Hi, brother. Appreciate you,
awesome.
Man.
Yeah, take care.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul.